Before I begin today, I'd like to say a few words about what this series is really about. And I mostly mean just these last 3 episodes on Sophia. On the surface, this is a discussion about Sophia, the archetype of divine wisdom. But on a deeper level, it's about something many people experience at some point in their lives. Sometimes we have an experience that is so meaningful, so unexpected, or so profound that we cannot simply set it aside. We spend years trying to understand what happened and what it means and how it changed us. This series is my exploration of one such experience. The encounter was only the beginning. The real journey was the years spent reflecting on it, studying it, and integrating it into my life. So as we look at this series, I hope you enjoy it and join me on the journey. It's more than just discovering Sophia. It's more than just the experience. It's having the experience, processing what that means, and then integrating it into my life. So I don't know, enjoy. Welcome to JohnsTarot. Welcome to you from wherever in the world you may be listening. I started to take off a little bit on YouTube, which is kind of surprising for me because YouTube has always just been a kind of a holder for me. There's so much competition out there. I don't know what happened that my videos started picking up a little bit on YouTube, which is it's a nice thing. I'm not doing this for recognition anyway. I'm doing this as a way of sharing awakening. I don't know how else to do it. I've had a bit of a lifetime experience, which has resulted in a different point of view, which I'm trying to share with people today and trying to guide people a little bit, because we don't go through all this pain and growth and all for nothing, right? Come back and share it with people, and that's the point of it all. So
the pain.
Yeah. That I've experienced a lot of that. So today I'm going to continue on my talk on Sophia. Today's going to be a little bit more of a presentation of a not a pre-recorded, but a pre-written presentation. So let me start it out with this. In this episode, we step into sacred territory, the realm of Sophia, the archetype of divine wisdom and divine truth. Sophia is not a doctrine or a dogma. She's an archetype, a living presence in the psyche. In other words, Sophia lives within us all, the part of us that knows the truth, even when the world is full of deception, the part of us that calls us back to authenticity, and the part of us that awakens when we begin the deeper stages of awakening. As we explore Sophia today, we explore the union of psychology and spirit, symbol and intuition, tarot and inner revelation. And together we discover how the archetype of divine truth guides us through confusion, illusions, the shadow, into clarity, purpose, and inner freedom. In times of confusion and deception, Sophia arises as an inner guide, a presence that cuts through illusion and calls us back into harmony with our deepest truth. And what happens there is this concept, this archetype of Sophia, generally emerges a little later in the process of awakening. This is not something that usually arises earlier. Sophia appears in early Christianity and Jewish mysticism, in Gnostic writings, and even in Jung's own reflections on the feminine principle. But Sophia is not a historical figure. She is an archetype. So what I'm doing in this episode is I am putting Sophia out there as a psychological event, an archetype that lives within us all, rather than a historical figure, although Sophia is a historical figure. In Jungian psychology, an archetype is a universal pattern of the psyche, something deeper than personality, deeper than belief. Sophia represents the wisdom that lives within the unconscious, a wisdom that is older than religion and older than the ego. Sophia is not just wisdom, she is truth, not the human truth of opinion, politics, or narratives, but divine truth, that which cannot be distorted, that which the soul recognizes instantly, that which brings clarity and peace. When Sophia is active in your psyche, you feel pulled towards authenticity. You sense when something is false, even if the world insists it is true. Now, we have a lot of BS in our politics today, and my BS meter has just been going off. And I could tell when some of these individuals are talking, I don't believe a word they're saying because it's just not true. You feel guided not by fear, but by inner knowledge. Sophia's truth is not shouted, it's revealed. The archetype is not, for me, it was an event that activated the archetype, but the archetype remains active within me now at all times. It's not that somebody can't bullshit me once in a while. It's just that it happens a lot less frequently, and I'm seeing through it. Once that archetype is activated, I'm seeing through it almost instantly. And that doesn't mean I call everybody on their BS. I just nod and smile and let them go on about their way. Several tarot cards carry the energy of Sophia, and I wanted to share that with you. Let's see how this goes. The first card is the High Priestess. She is the veil between conscious and unconscious, intuition, hidden truth, and sacred memory. Temperance, the alchemist of opposites, the harmonizers. She restores balance through divine insight. The Star, hope, purification, a return to spiritual clarity after the collapse of the tower. Justice, objective truth, cosmic balance, the blade that cuts through illusion. And finally, the World, wholeness, completion, integrated self, the final stage of awakening. It's really not the final stage. It's a final stage of a certain degree of awakening, and that's kind of what happens. Sophia emerges at the later stages of awakening when the seeker has already confronted the shadow, loosened the persona, and begun the dialogue with the deeper self. She comes when the psyche is ready for truth. Not when we want truth, but the truth that frees us. In this role, Sophia becomes a compass. When you are tempted by illusion, she brings clarity. When you are surrounded by chaos, she brings order. When you are lost, she brings insight. So let me pull this up, and let's do a little 5-card reading on how to access. I call this the Sophia invocation. My ability to read tarot is a gift. It's an expression of divine love, and I'm here to share it with you in that same spirit. So how do we access the Sophic knowledge? And I'm going to give you a tarot reading. I did this back. This is the same tarot reading I used back in my series on the Awakening series. And I'm just going to use the same one. Why reinvent the wheel? So in the first card, you're going to ask, what truth am I avoiding? The second card, what truth is emerging? Third card, what wisdom seeks expression? Fourth card, what illusion must fall away? And the fifth card, how Sophia guides me now. So my first card, what truth am I avoiding? Let me give this another shuffle. And this is about me personally. I got some, because it's a process. It happens. It's like peeling an onion. This whole process of awakening. And you awaken to another degree. And then that layer of the onion has to be peeled back. And then it just goes on and on. So what truth am I avoiding? I'm going to use this in the Sophia invocation. What truth am I avoiding? All right, I'll cut the deck. My first card, what truth am I avoiding? And I have the Four of Cups. In the Four of Cups, you see a man sitting under a tree, 3 cups in front of him, and then 1 cup behind him being offered by a guided hand. And this is somebody who's disappointed in life, disappointed in outcomes. Is this all there is in life? And then, but more is being offered by the universe. Only you have only to look. So, what truth am I avoiding? I have some frustration in terms of what's going on in my life. It's like maybe what's going on in the podcast, but things are starting to turn for me. And behind me is a cup being offered. Am I willing to accept the things that are being offered that I don't exactly see yet? And then what truth is emerging? The Ace of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles, you see a young man holding a pentacle. This has to do with compound interest, learning a new skill. All the effort that you're going to that I am putting into the current skill will pay off in the future. And that's what it's about. And am I willing to put into work? What wisdom seeks expression? And I have the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles, wisdom was, I have everything I need in order to move forward. And that this wisdom seeks expression. And am I willing to share it? But I have to be careful that I don't hoard it. And because this is also the card of the miser, the Four of Pentacles. And that with the decisions I make, I have to consider other people in my life, that I don't harm them with the decisions I'm making in order to move forward. I hope I haven't harmed anybody with this series on the podcast. And then what illusions must fall away from me now? The Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles, the illusion of not having enough money. There's going to be enough money. There's going to be enough for me. I don't have to worry about that. What the forces that have brought me this far will continue to support me. And that is the illusion that must fall away from me now over concerns about finances. And then the final card, how Sophia guides me now. That'll be interesting. And that is the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords, you see a woman with a blindfold and 2 swords kind of at a crossroads. This is somebody who is gathering information. And that's how Sophia is guiding me now as I continue to gather information, to gather more things in order to be able to share with you. And she's guiding me in terms of what I'm doing with the podcast. The information I'm presenting, I'm being guided and I'm being shown the things to present. And that is what I have for you for this week. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast.
Goodbye, Professor Marvel, and thanks a lot.
Well, it was my pleasure. And remember, you can contact me if you like a reading, or I think I talked a little bit last week. We have enough information here to do a manuscript. If some people have contacted me about a manuscript, or if you think this information is worthy of a manuscript, you take a look back in JohnsTarot, the whole Soul Awakening series. Go ahead, contact me. I'll be glad to work with you on possibility of a manuscript. So until next week, be careful, be cool, be kind, and remember, have faith, find courage, and I will talk to you all again later in the week. Bye-bye.